wonderful Thursday afternoon, and it's time for Sports Hobby once again. My name is Afatu. Salifu Usman is right here on today's edition of the program. Salifu, welcome to Sports Hobby. Right, also all the way from the United Kingdom, Wale Ayeni also joins us on today's edition of the program. Wale, welcome to Sports Orbit once again.
Good afternoon to you, Alpha and Salifu, and everybody in the studio. Thanks for having me here.
Right, we'll begin straight from the home front like we always do, and this time from the NPFL, where some interesting matches went down in the NPFL yesterday. Match week 5 of the NPFL. As a little like we said the other time, we're running quickly already. We are already in match week 5, and interesting encounter from that one for Rangers. They actually recorded their first win in the NPFL with a victory over Takada in Oka on yesterday. Actually, this win for Rangers has eased off some pressure off of Coach Abdul Mekaba, who has come under constant criticism following their poor display this season in Ibadan. Kwara United also, remember, they were also given a two-match, ultimatum to get things going, or else the whole of the coaching crew will be sacked. But I think they actually took that personally and ensured that they got a 2-1 victory over former champions Aqua United in that one. For Remo Stars also returned to winning ways as they edged out Aimba 1-0 in Ikene. While for Pendel Insurance are looking like they are up, have something up their sleeves this season. Pendel Insurance recorded their fifth straight victory yesterday against El Kanemi Warriors. It was away, although El Kanemi Warriors played that match at the Kano Pillar Stadium in Kano, but notwithstanding, it was still an away game for Bendel Insurance. Salifu, looking at the NPFL for Bendel Insurance. Bendel Insurance are, doing what we call, quite impressive. And of course, Plateau United also a 2-1 victory away to Nasra United. But for Bendel Insurance, nice performance. Then for the likes of Rangers and Kwara United getting their first win after in their fifth try.
Yeah, good ones. Congratulations to Rangers and Kwara United. Though at least he has eased some pressures and off the cook on the
Yeah.
that is not yet enough.
I thought.
Working up their belt.
Mm.
But sometimes it's good to be harsh on the coaches and the coaches. That giving them out to me don't have to
Exactly.
has made them come as long.
Yeah.
The good stuff they reacted positively. And the hope that they take the win. And for better insurance, quite interesting season for better insurance. 5 wins from 5 matches,
Yeah.
15 points from 15 points, from 16 points. Straight one, nice performance, good one for a club that just come from the lower divisions to join the league club and the top league. And all this just an impressive performance in the first game, 5 victories and 15 points. Good one, and also Plateau United get the win because they didn't make a good one. But that's why if you carefully look at the result of the midweek matches yesterday,
Yeah.
all the home teams are except El Academy, Nasarawa United, and Bayelsa United all recorded home victory.
Mm.
And as I always say, I'm not trying to criticize. I always say, I say it's still early to begin to see their players like home advantage begin to really count.
Well, at least we still witness two away
It's
victory
still not yet
and,
enough to
and,
be
and
to
one,
one
one, one away draw.
interesting
Yeah.
that I'm not league debutant, just a league debutant. Doma United, all the way from Nazareth,
Yeah, exactly.
travel to Bayelsa
Yeah,
side
so
and
holding
get
Bayelsa, yes.
an away point.
Mm.
It's also quite interesting and good performance and good one there. And let's see how it's going to go. But the beauty is that we are beginning, just like I told you, I say this is a very short league, 5 matches and 13 matches to go. So any team now, any loss now or defeat now counts, and every club now need to work on their belt. And that is why I'm happy that Okara United and the Rangers were able to work up from their storm and they can be points.
Yeah, while you're looking at the NPFL, if you look at Bendel Insurance, like we said, 5 straight wins so far, and currently they are looking like the team to beat. Just last weekend when some of us thought Remo Stars were going to at least stop them in their track, but they still went out in that one, came out on scat, and this time around also another away win against El Kanemi Warriors, all the way in the north where you consider quite a distance from their base. But for Benel Insurance, they are doing so far so good this season.
Of course, no doubt about it. If you have, the backing of the government, and also you have a good technical side, you are bound to actually get to win matches, because we know right from the beginning of the league, we have seen how the club, your jersey was being unveiled by the Edo State governor, and when you have a state that the deputy governor is like a part of the team, you will agree with me that all needed support will be given to the team to actually strive in the league, and the team has not actually failed to yeah, to their responsibility. They've been able, to turn out, massive, 15 point out of 15.5 games, straight wins. I think the team on fire, and at this point in time, they are the team to beat in the NPFL at this point. I just hope that they will continue this, impressive run, throughout the season. No doubt about it. They're just coming, out from the relegation, and then they're actually, doing, wonders in the Premier League. I hope, they keep, this momentum, going forward. For Enugu Rangers, Nakava has, for me, it's one of the experienced coaches in the Nigerian Professional Football League. For him to actually, get to return Rangers to winning waves, I think it's a good one for Enugu Rangers at this point in time. We know his pedigree when it comes to the Nigerian Professional Football League. He has been a former champion. He has lifted the title, so he knows what it means to actually get to lift the title. Quite United also ending unbeaten run, very good one for them. 2-1. I actually know ended, against the Aqua United, a team that I feel they should have actually got to join that particular one in the Northern, but Aqua United stay strong to actually finish that one 2-1. For Remo Stars, returning to winning waves after their last defeat, beating Eyimba, 1-0 at home. From that, impressive goal scored. I feel it's a good one for Remo Star at this point in time. Things are going on well for the lads, and looking at the team being one of the private owned club in the NPFL, they have been doing very impressively. They have been able, to fly their players to play, away at Gombe, and to fly them back. Teams are getting to take planes to go to match the venue. I think that's one of being an interesting part, in the NPFL this season. We don't get to see that more often in the past, but now I think things are beginning not to go in shape. But there was an incident. I can't remember the match at this point in time where there was a penalty that was awarded to a particular team. For me, I felt that penalty should not have been given. The player hand was not showing. The player hand was just in the back. And all that. There are some, little bit of, offside call that have been called in the NPFL that should have been not been called an offside. It should have been a pure goal. I feel that officiating also at the the IMC, they need to actually check when it comes to officiating, and should ensure that teams are teams play fairly, and the officiating is fairly, so that it will not seem as if a particular referees are siding one team than the other. So I feel the IMC need to actually get to.
Right? I think we lost some of that connection. Anyway, we'll move along now. This time, the NFF has, on Tuesday, organized a seminar for general managers and club licensing managers of teams in the NPFL and Nigerian Women Football League, with a view to briefing them adequately on the Confederation of African Football's new regulatory framework for the club's licensing system and stadium regulations. The regulations include the fresh edition of the CAF Men's Club Licensing Regulations, first ever edition of the CAF Women's Club Licensing Regulations, the fresh CAF Club Licensing Quality Standard, dedicated CAF Club Licensing Catalog of Sanctions, and a fresh CAF Stadium Regulations. I mean, a whole lot of regulations and things that the NFL feels general managers of clubs and officials of clubs need to know. I think this is really a good one, Salifu, so that over and over again we have seen situations where CAF officials come to inspect stadia and all of these things, and you find out that a lot of stadia here in Nigeria are below standard. So here the NFF is doing on its own part to lecture these officials to know what and what is required of them from CAF, so that tomorrow when you are not properly, you are not licensed, or maybe your stadium is banned, you won't say, or maybe CAF doesn't like us. So they are letting you know that these are the things you need to do in order to have a good stand in the eyes of CAF.
Yeah, good one. I agree with you. At the end of the day, they are taking up their responsibilities and to educate the club officials on what is expected of them on the actual rule and regulation. And so that at the end of the day, you know when they when you find faulty, you shouldn't begin to blame that I was not doing, I was not aware of this. So I commend the Nigerian Football Federation for taking that boost in letting the count. Even however, most of those regulations when they can't come out with the regulation, all these things will be sent to credit for. It is good that the NFF is following up, but sometimes sometimes club will receive this notice and they just keep it under somewhere under the dust. They won't mind to even go through it. But it's that, that's why we receive the written document and all the regulation is but it's good that NFF is also taking upon itself to also teach them and ask them that this is what we are expected to do, what we are expected to do. But at the end of the day, if you found fault at the you don't have anybody to blame. You have to
Yeah.
yourself to blame.
Right, moving right along. Wally, for former Super Eagles coach Austin Eguaron, he has actually congratulated Ebenezer King Samiro after his transfer to Inter Milan. Actually, this was actually a good news. I saw that news that broke out a couple of days ago, and it's been a long time since a player has been signed directly from the Nigerian league here directly to a team like Inter Milan. Most of the times, Salifu, what you see is players going through all kinds of backyard corner before you end up you go through so many. But this is a young player, and you can even see clearly that this is not some 30-year-old boy who is saying that he's so and so age. Clearly, it shows this is a young player. And Remo Stars, these are kind of news we expect to be seeing and hearing from Nigerian football, Wale.
Of course, no doubt about it. It was, a great, transfer that actually happened on the last day of the transfer. For me, it actually headlined, the transfer of Nigerian players abroad, despite the likes of, Paul Onacho, Eddie Murphy, getting to, join your club. I feel this particular King Somoro was the best, transfer for me because, as an 18 years old lad and he's playing fantastic well for Raymond Stars. I get to watch some of his, highlights from the games he has played in the past. So I feel it's a great, move for him, going to join the Inter Milan on the 19 side. Definitely, he will get a chance to play in the UEFA Champions League and in other, European, competition. So I feel it's a big boost, for Remo Stal at this point in time. It will actually, woo more, international clubs, more European clubs to actually look inwards to Remo Stars to see if they can actually get to sign more quality players and also a big money move for Raymond Stars because it was undisclosed field, no doubt about it. But we know that 18 years old, we will be rest assured that it will be a high price, that before Raymond Stars will actually allow that deal to pull to pull through. If you have a private owner getting to run clubs in Nigeria, these are bound to happen. More investors are prone to come in if you have good people who are actually managing various clubs that we have in Nigeria. You can agree with me that Remo Stars are the most organized Premier League club in Nigeria at the moment. Looking at their facilities, looking at how they actually project the club in the media, how their media get to update fans around the world with that regular update. It shows that they know what they're doing, and if you actually know what you're doing when it comes to football business, I tell you, you actually make a whole lot of profit. And this is just, the first to come of what the future holds for Rainbow Stars. I see them, getting, to sell more of the players in the nearest futures. And in the summer, you will agree with me that the players are bound to leave. Just like you said, Nigerian players are not known to sign for big clubs like Inter Milan. They will actually go to a Tunisia club, a Egyptian club, or a club in somewhere not well known like what we have seen. These Remo stars and player get to sign for Inter Milan. So I feel it's a very, very good one. And then just to add to the trainings of referees and officials of the NPF of the Nigerian Football Federation in line with the CAF rules, I think is a good one. I just want to add, we need regular trainings like this, not just for officials, also for players. Because if you remember, at the game between the World Cup qualifiers between Nigeria and Ghana, the players were thinking that since it ended 1-1, they were thinking that the game will go into extra time. So I feel if they actually pro to that time, I feel they should be able to put more effort in that game and to ensure that they get to win the game within 90 minutes. So I say regular training for officials and players is highly needed going forward in the Nigerian Football Federation.
Right. We'll quickly go on a break. When we come back, Sport Orbit continues. Don't go now.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
Welcome back from that break. It's still Sports Orbit. Some people before we went on that break, we're talking about these Remo Stars, former academy player who just secured this move to Inter Milan.
Yeah, Kwara is a good development for Nigerian football, and I congratulate all the winners because if you recall, in one of my editions, I said I made the most that Remo Stars is a good example of how the staff of the wrong and we are beginning to see that the beauty about this new transfer, it's not just for Remo Stars, it's about for all Nigerian players who play in the domestic league.
Exactly.
It clearly shows to you that
There's hope.
there's hope in the Nigerian league. It's not all about bad and good. And if you are good here, definitely you have a club. You can still move from here directly to Europe. There's no need you moving from here to Slovakia or moving here to Cyprus or moving to here to one Indonesia or unknown league. Apology to amount you the obscure league before you get moved to Europe. But what has happened? This is the first time in the last 15 years. I may be wrong. But this is the first time but the last time we have this kind of a transfer player from the Nigerian league to a big club, a top European side, was when Tai will move from Lobista to Olympique Marseille.
Actually,
I think that's the last. I may be wrong, but this is what I say. The last time happened. I'm not saying the players are not moving from here to Europe, but to a very top European side. Inter Milan, a former Champions League winner, a top Italian side, top European side,
and having a is a big club by any standard. Yeah.
Inter is in the range of Real Madrid, anyone you can take of because they are former champions and win Italian league, winning the Champions League. But it's a good development for our football and Nigeria for themselves. And we hope to see this is going to open more doors. And we wish the young players will be able to excel themselves and to show that yes, all is not bad about Nigeria. You can still have a player move directly from here to Europe to end the club.
All right, to some Golden Eaglets news, recall that earlier in the week we had told you that the draws for the Under 17 Cup of Nations will be held. And of course, yesterday those draws were held. And of course, Nigeria has been paired alongside South Africa, Zambia, and Morocco in Group B, while for the likes of Senegal, Congo, Somalia, Algeria, and Group A, while Cameroon, Mali, Burkina Faso, and South Sudan make up the last group. Certainly for that Group C, you wonder why three francophone countries were lumped up in that group: Burkina Faso, Mali, Cameroon, almost like brothers in one group, while we have South Sudan as the odd one out in that group. But looking at this group generally, well, for Nigeria, Morocco, South Africa, Zambia, you could say Nigeria should be able to make it out of, this group.
Alpha, you may be wrong, but
I said should be,
should be, but they have to fight their way out.
Of course.
But the reason I saw the draw yesterday, I said, well, this is a group of dead. In my own, from my own calculation, having Morocco is no longer a minor in the African football.
Well.
By any standard and based on their performance, this at the cadet level, but based on their performance at the World Cup, Morocco has been seen as one of the best clubs, one of the best football nations in the continent. And then South Africa, you talk of beautiful game, South Africa have it. And then Zambia, I don't know yet. Nigeria
but it's just that I think at this level, the likes of South Africa, Zambia might not pose too much of a problem to.
Well, Zambia both of them, South Africa and Nigeria are former champion at this. South Africa, Zambia are former champion at this competition level. Yeah. And then coming to this champions. Well, the good is that Nigerians and Zambia will test themselves tomorrow at the Abuja National Stadium, where they're going to play a friendly match. That will give a hint that what likely to happen. But the good what you have
they didn't even know they're going to.
They're not going. Yes, they're not going to fall where they are in the match. But the match is going to go tomorrow at the Abuja National Stadium. We hope to see how South Africa's, Zambians, and Nigeria will go to test themselves before the match. But one thing that is so important and so significant about the Nigerian team that we have a very technical crew of
exactly,
who is so who one can put, you can always put your money and put your trust on them. The lack of the Lyricals and who are very good age cadet level coaches, and we hope that based on what they achieve at the Wafu Championship, they'll transform it, take to the next level, and what we need to see. And another Nigerians and the Senegal also in the top group. And just like some of the Francophone side, we log in one group. Cameroon, Mali, they are all former champions of this level too. So the one thing that all the groups look very tight, and we hope to see very interesting tight at the end of the day.
Yeah, well, quickly your take on this parents, for the under 17 AFCON.
No doubt about it. When you look at the setup of the under 17, AFCON, you agree with me that Nigeria are the most successful team, having won the world title about 5 times, and looking at the rest of the team. But no doubt about it, there's no minus. No more minus when it comes to age grade competition. But we know that at this point, with the world's experienced technical crew, the likes of Ungbadi and the rest, I feel Nigeria can be able to make it out of that group. No doubt about it. We'll put Zambia to test and we'll see how far they can go. So after that particular game, we should be able to know how well we are going to file out against Zambia, Morocco, South Africa. Mind you, just as Salifa said, Morocco has got into a process of that they're trying to have a rebate when it comes to football, how the national team setup is being managed and being run, and when it comes to the field of play. So I feel we should still actually watch out for Morocco. South Africa also, they are very, very good when it comes to age grade competition. So I feel at this point, all I have to do in there to ensure that we select the right players, going to the under 17, and also we should give them all the needed, support that they will be needing, going into that competition, Alpha.
All right, to some other news now, that's coming from Manchester City, where Premier League champions will open contract talks with their star midfielder Kevin De Bruyne in the next couple of months. The club hierarchy have made the first approach to extend the Belgian contract. De Bruyne's current contract will expire in 2025. There's a target at City that the renewal could be settled between mid-June and end of July. So for Man City, I mean, no doubt, when you look at the last couple of years, what City has been able to achieve, you can say that this one has been very, very instrumental to the success of City in the last few years.
Yeah, it's definitely which is surprise and one of the biggest players and Man City's and club others. They need to talk about it. They need to come back. They're trying to tie him down before another big club will go to show eyes of him. They already the fifth already over halfway, and for the contract and may likely expire at the end of 2025. So the club need to start now to tie him down to waive off any interest from him. Because by the time other club is that okay that his contract will expire by the time he enter next season, they say he has a 1 year and a half, 1 year on contract. A lot of people, a lot of interest will begin to call in, and at that time it will become difficult for you to tie him down.
Exactly.
So they need to do it as quicker now and ensure that they know that he's tied to the mass.
All right, to some La Liga news now for Barca. It was a 2-1 victory yesterday at Real Betis that helped them, extend their lead to 8 points at the top of the table. Goals from Rafinha and Robert Lewandowski helped the Catalans to, open up that 8-point lead against their bitter rivals Real Madrid, who played later on today. Of course, a win today for Madrid will bring the, close the gap to 5 points. But while they're looking at Barca, looks like maybe Xavi seems to have finally found the magic.
Of course, it has been, an impressive, performance for, Barcelona ever since Lewandowski actually, joined, the one of the biggest club in Europe at this point in time. Talking about Barcelona, he has been doing very well. He's the highest goal scorer in the La Liga at this point in time. It shows that he's not removing his leg on the pedal. And also, when you look at the crop of players that Xavi have in his arsenal at this point in time, they are young players and well experienced players. So that kind of blend is very, very good for a team like Barcelona to go all the way to actually get to win the La Liga. It has been long, for them since they have been able to.
Well, seems like we seem to have lost a bit of a connection there. Anyway, to final story before we leave. Of course, yesterday, the second leg of the semi-final Carabao Cup between United and, of course, Nottingham Forest. Yesterday it was for United. It was 2-0 win over Nottingham Forest. Now the final will be played, between United and Newcastle sometime late February. Well, for United, congratulations, the 5-0 aggregate, over Nottingham Forest.
Congratulations to Ferhan. Yes, like Ferhan is still keeping his promise or is still keeping his hope of winning the country.
Yeah.
Because like Man are likely to win 4 titles this season. So that's a good one for Man U fans and a very sweet one. And they have a final against Newcastle. Though if you put it on the paper, you definitely see that it's as look as good as Man U have won that title. But Newcastle this season, I'm not the same. I'm not saying as a push up. It's definitely going to be an interesting one. But one thing we want to go is that Man U have keep up their hope and keep up their dream of winning 4 titles this season. Let's see how it's going to be. They are going because the fans are still dreaming that they have a chance to win the Premier League. They have a chance to win the FA Cup. They have a chance to win the Europa Cup. And now win the Europa Cup. And now the Cali Cup is almost in their kitchen. But let's see how it's going to be. But the good one, congratulations to Master United and the fans.
All right, with that, we call it a day on today's episode of Sports Hobby. Tomorrow, Friday, like we say, thank God it's Friday. We'll bring you our Friday and weekend edition of the program. Do make it endeavor to join us 4 p.m. tomorrow, Nigerian time, as we bring you another exciting edition of the program. Salifo, thank you for being in the studio on today's edition of the program.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Wale, thank you for joining us also on today's edition of the program.
Thank you for having me, Alpha. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
All right, tomorrow is another day. We'll come your way with another exciting edition on Until then, do have a lovely time out there. My name is Apacho, and it's bye for now.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.